Hello. I'm thrilled and terrified to be here in equal measure. So yes, I am one of the co-founders of a new arts company called Curious Arts. We are based down at Castle House, which Ian just said, which is the old co-op building. And I'm sure some of you have been down there to have lots of delicious food and drink at Commune, which is on the ground floor. I'm going to talk a bit more about Curious in detail after I've told you kind of how I came to be doing what I'm doing there, because I want you to know that I'm coming at it from your perspective, really, as a content maker and a creative, which doesn't always go down that well with the corporate directors. But I'm on your side with this. So yeah, a little bit about me. I grew up in Sheffield. I have been, as Ian touched on, a bit of a jack of all trades. But the main continuity, I suppose, has been writing in various forms throughout that strange and eclectic journey. But what I'm doing now kind of brings all of those things together and makes sense of the chaos in a way. So yes, I grew up in Sheffield. I went to university in Leeds. I did English literature and theatre, and it was there that I wrote and directed 5 plays, I think it was. Unfortunately, I caught the acting bug while I was there, and so I went back to London. I was born in London, and I went to LAMDA, trained to be an actress, and it was there that I met my comedy wife. We accidentally became a double act when we pretended to be one in order to go up for an advert, and we had to come clean on the shoot, and the director was a guy called Steve Benderlack, who directed Mighty Boosh and French and Saunders and that kind of stuff. And he was like, you've got some chemistry, so write a show, get yourself to Edinburgh. So we did that, and we did that for 3 years, lots of live gigging across London and Edinburgh, and 3 years of that, and our last show transferred to Soho Theatre. And then we started writing for screen together. So we wrote a couple of short films, and they went to Aesthetica and the Loco Film Festival. And then we'd just been commissioned by Channel 4, and we got divorced. We weren't actually married. It was like, but yes. So I like to think of it now as an opportunity. But Lucy went solo. We're still on speaking terms. Nobody panic. And I thought, well, what I really love is writing. So I came back to Sheffield, and I did an MA at Sheffield Hallam in creative writing, thinking I'll just carry on writing scripts, I'll write a BBC drama, I'll star in it, see you later, Olivia Colman. That didn't happen, obviously. I started writing a novel instead, which led me to think, while I was there, what I really noticed about Sheffield was how much the city had changed in the 10 years that I'd been down in London. And it really felt as though it was on the brink of just this really exciting kind of cultural, creative explosion, and there was such an energy in the city, and also people say hello to you, which is nice. So I thought, I'm going to stay here, finish the book, and I got a part-time job at Collider. So I'm sure some of you probably know a bit about Collider, but for those of you who don't know, again, obviously based down in Castle House, but they are an incubator for creative digital tech companies. So they help businesses scale and grow. And it's a co-working space, and there's lots of networking events and masterclasses and that kind of thing. So if that's your thing, get involved or talk to me. And I was brought on board because we've got this huge building, and they said, what we really want is to build a cultural, creative community hub. We've obviously got Commune on the bottom floor, we've got Collider on the top floor, we've got an event space, so we want live music, we want performance, we want creative people working and eating and talking and networking and making things. And then they said, we want to be the Barbican. And I was like, I don't know if you've been to Castle House, but it's more warehouse chic than Barbican, I would say. I realised very quickly that what I needed to do was discover what was already happening in the city. So I spent the first 6 weeks trying to meet as many creative companies and people as I could so that I could try and build on what was happening instead of, reinventing the wheel and pissing everyone off. So that's what I did. And loads of people said it was two things really, that there was so much happening, but it was all of these disparate pockets of activity across the city. And the other thing that people said to me was that Sheffield is not very good at showing off about what it's doing. So I thought, well, maybe I can combine those two things. So one of Curious's main visions is to try and document, curate and showcase all of the creative activity that's going on across the city. Now, I know that sounds pretty broad and ambitious, but we're starting small and growing. So I suppose it's very difficult to define, but what Curious is, it's part production company, it's part creative incubator, and it's part venue, so performances and rehearsal space. So on the mystery floor, we are building a media lab, which is going to be studios with a huge emphasis on post-production, because there's a real lack of that in the north in general, but particularly in Sheffield, and we're trying to retain the talent. So that will be have those facilities, as well as audio pods for musicians and filmmaking equipment, and a sort of interdisciplinary creative co-working hub. So we're trying to encourage networking and activities and masterclasses that encourage genres to cross-pollinate and create new work together. That's obviously not going to be built, well, not obviously, but that's not going to be ready until halfway through next year. So a mini version of that you can get involved in now is the Writers' Hub. So it's for writers across all genres. There's a series of, we're having the official launch on the 12th of October. There's free champagne. I don't think it's champagne actually, it's just fizz. But lots of local performances from artists, poets, writers, spoken word artists, musicians, and that's happening in Commune, so please come to that. It's a membership system, so you can come and work in the space upstairs, and we will try and help you scratch your work if that's what you want to do. We'll try and match you up and find... The main point of it is to try and help artists monetize their work in whatever capacity. So we're developing a variety of platforms to enable people to do that. So yes, if writing's your thing, you can join that now. We've got an early bird membership already in existence, so you can sign up to that and you can start using the building from the 12th. We already run drop-in things which are free every Wednesday and Thursday mornings. In terms of content, I'm aware that there's so much to say and I just don't want to blither on too much. So what I can help you with, if you want to run a workshop or a masterclass or an event, then you can get in touch with me and I can help you do that in the Commune event space. I can help you promote it. I can offer you space to research or work a project if you're a kind of filmmaker or if you're a theatre maker. We also offer live coverage of events, so that the whole idea being, if you have got a book launch, say, and someone can't come on a rainy Tuesday evening in November, we want to be able to offer something that you can take away with you, so that project or that event has an afterlife. So one of the ways that we're doing that is we're working with another Collider project, which is Scope, which is really where the content comes in, I suppose. So Scope, the best way to think of it is like a curated, quality-controlled YouTube platform, sort of, but it's specifically for niche content from creatives. So eventually we'd like it to become almost a commissioning platform, so each contributor gets a profile and a biog, and technology is not my thing, I am going to say that right now. But if you want more information on that and how to get involved, if you're a content maker, animation, documentary, short film, music, audio, podcasting, we're doing a lot of podcasting with you, and you'd like to be part of the Curious part of the Scope, then get in touch with me. Or if you just want an information pack on Scope itself, I've got some cards with me, so just come and talk to me afterwards. What else? Yes, if anybody is, we're making the first flagship Curious podcast. So it's called Curious City. And it's all about trying to showcase the mixture of what's going on with creatives in the city. So if you're doing something either new or innovative or just a bit different, or you just want to talk to me and the world about what you're doing and it all be in the same place with other creatives, then please let me know, and I'd love to help you do that. There's a lot more I could bang on about, but I think everybody probably wants to have a drink and a wee. So, just come and find me. We're basically trying to help you do what you want to do. Whatever I can do to support that or help that to come into fruition, then I would be happy to do that. Thank you.